Now, over the years, I've sold about 4 million books showing people how to get government grants. That's right. I've been doing this work for a long time, about 30, 40 years, I think. I'm an old guy. But I'm more excited now about what's going on the internet. I mean, it's, to me, a better source of free money than the government ever had or ever will be. And who knows what the government's going to be in the future. So I'm trying to do now is educate people about the free money programs that are in the internet. I mean, this is changing, our life in so many ways. I mean, I call it like the new free money society, and it's crowdfunding and peer-to-peer and the share economy and all these kinds of things that are happening. And it's not just, pie in the sky or whatever and a couple anecdotes. No, I've interviewed like 200-300 people who have actually gotten this money, and because it's so different than going through government regulations or going through the bank and all these other traditional sources of money. Now here I made a list of 17 ways that using free money on the internet is better than getting a government grant or going to the bank or anything else that you think of for a source of money. Okay, here's one. The first one, no credit checks. That's right. Could you imagine people giving you money with no credit checks? That's what it is. I think that's incredible. So that's why you have to try this thing. There's no income requirements. See, on grants, there's sometimes income requirements. You can't make over a certain amount of money. Other grants, you have to make over a certain amount of money. It's all, every program has different requirements. But here, there's no income requirements. They're going to never ask you how much money you make. They're never going to ask for your credit check. Also, no complicated grant applications. Now, some grant applications are easy, and some you could get a stack of forms to fill out like this. Well, here, there's none of that stuff. It's all just a little, like, fill in the blanks on a website, to get the money. Now, here's an important thing. You don't have any partners, any investors, or any bankers telling you what to do. This is money. You say you're going to do this, and then you get the money, and then you just do it. Nobody else is, telling you step by step or making you hire their girlfriend or whatever it is if they give you money to do something or take it back from you. I mean, there's no partners, nobody else you have to get married to, like a venture capitalist to get this. And also, you don't need an accountant, a lawyer, or a grant writer, or any of these kinds of things. That's right. All these professional people. You don't need professional people like that to apply for money on the web. So that's another thing. And also, you don't need any special expertise. You don't need a PhD in engineering or an MBA or any of these things. You just have to do what you're going to say you're going to do, and that's what it's for, and it's even to help other people, not only help yourself, you could use this money for. And here's another important thing. There's no limits to how much or how little you can ask for. So you can ask for $1 million. That's right. People get $1 million doing this. Or you can just ask for $100. That's right. So there's no income requirements. Like, so many government programs you have to ask. They're only going to give you $250,000. Or you can't ask more for than $1,000. Nah, there's none of that stuff. So it's up to you on what are you going to ask. And also, I think one of the most important things about this, there's no downside. Applying for this money, the worst is you fail and you learn so much by failing because you're starting to learn a new process in life, a new process on how to use the tools that are available in our society for you to get ahead in life, for you to contribute more to our society. And that's what, and nobody's going to get angry at you if you fail. So like if you borrow money from your, banker or friends or some investor, they're going to get real angry because you fail. Here, if you fail, it doesn't matter. If you don't get the money, big deal. Nobody cares. Also, you get the money in 60 days. Sometimes even sooner. I mean, that's incredible to me. So 2 months, you can start today. And in 2 months, you start getting that money. I mean, it's just remarkable how fast that this could work. The government, man, you may have to wait till the next application process. They only accept applications in February. Whatever it is. Or you have to wait till they ran out of money this year because, they gave it all away, so you're going to have to wait until the next fiscal year, which is next November or whenever it is, till they start handing out money. There's none of that stuff, here. Okay, and what's interesting, too, about this, you get the money so you have it to make your product. say like you have an idea to make a product. Okay, you go on the internet and you get all the money to go make the product. So you don't even have to have the product yet. And people are giving you the money just to go make the product. Man, I mean, that's what's amazing. So that's, you can't get anywhere else. Okay, also, you have a better chance that your application will be successful. I mean, the real answer to this, it depends on the program. Some for small grants, or actually for stuff that they have to give you the money for in the government. Everybody who applies gets it because they have to give it to you because you're eligible for it. And that's more direct payments and not grants. But on grants, it could be, like 20%, 10% of the people apply. I know one of the big one for businesses is about 25% of the applications that here, I mean, the biggest site that's doing this is like 45% of the people apply. Other sites I've seen 80% of the people who apply for the money get it. 80% success rate. That's incredible to me. Okay, also you get paid if you're providing products to a customer. You get paid for all those products you're going to send out before you even make them and send them out. That's right. It's like, hey, I'm going to open up a store next week and have money and have products there, but you give me the money now. That's what people are doing. They're getting the money now before they open the store and have the products to give out. I mean, that to me is never before has been done. Also, what's interesting about this, by putting your product or project or whatever you need money for on the web, you wind up getting more publicity and more information and more distributors than you would otherwise, because this is a worldwide thing. So people all over the world say, hey, you're doing this in Scranton, Pennsylvania? Hey, I'm over here in Dusseldorf, Germany, and I'd like to do that too. I'll be your distributor here in Germany. And you get this kind of thing. So many people I talk to, are that's what's happening to them. Besides the money you get on the web, you're getting people all over the world that are going to spread your idea, and get money for you, and they keep going and going and going forever. Also, what's neat about this is you have undeniable proof that you have a winning idea. See, you don't have to waste any money on market studies or surveys to see if it's a good idea or whatever, because you're going to the crowds, and that's what it is. So most people, traditional business, you had to go market survey. Hey, is this a legitimate thing people are going to buy? And you convince, you get data to convince yourself or somebody else that this is a viable product. Then you go to an investor or someone like that with money, a banker, and say, hey, this is going to be a viable product, lend me the money or be my partner to do that. Here, you do that all in one shot. You put it on the web, you get customers who give you money ahead of time to make your product, and now you know for sure this is a great idea, and it costs you nothing to do it. So why go through all this other stuff you have to go through in a traditional business when you can go right on the internet, get the customers, get the money in one shot, and then go make the damn thing. And have no partners, and it's just terrific. I think there's nothing more exciting in our country that's happening right now. But this is just beginning. People are going to miss out, if they don't start learning about it now. Also, what you can get money for, man, it's just not business. It's any kind of thing. You can be a nonprofit, an inventor, or for your education, or just for pleasure, or you want to help yourself or help other people that are in trouble or whatever. Man, that's what anything you could use this kind of money for, and that's what's neat about it. And the other neat thing that you could do with this that you can't do in most of the other grant programs, you can go back for money over and over and over again. I've talked to people go out four times, go back. Hey, I got 30,000 this time. Hey, go back, got 50,000. Hey, go back and get 100,000. That's what's kind of thing. So it's there. You don't wear out your welcome. And it, to me, another thing that is an indication, it's already bigger than some government grants. Right now, one of the big websites that do this money crowdfunding gives out more money to artists than the National Endowments of the Arts, and that's our government office that gives grants to artists, is promote artists. Now this website is giving out more money than the government for artists. So, I mean, that's a clue. Something's happening here. And you got to take advantage of it, or start learning about it. Even if you don't use it now, you have to learn about it. Because it's sort of like, in the 90s, about the internet. Man, look at what happened to the internet. And the people say, oh, it's complicated, it's this, it's that, and it took over our whole lives, and that's it. And I feel this is another thing. I've been studying information for 30, 40 years now, and that's why my idea or my opinion is this is the next really big thing that's going to change our economy, change the world, and change everything that's going on. And like I say, I've interviewed like 300 or so people already that use this money. If you want to see these interviews, you go to YouTube. It's all for free. I want to teach people about this for free. You go to youtube.com/MatthewLesko70, because I was 70 when I started this. I'm now 71, but I'm going to be here for 20 more years. So you'll be seeing videos about how people could get involved in this forever. And the kind of videos you're going to see there, let me tell you some people. Here's 27 people I set aside. These are people just like you. Look for them on the YouTube channel. They got free money that changed their lives. Like this fella here. He got $6,000 to make jelly in his basement. Now, who would ever think of that? Hey, where do I get $6 grand? Yes, you can. Or how about, you can invest a little time and a few dollars, a couple $100 if that, and get $420,000 in 10 days. Where are you going to get $420,000 in 10 days? I mean, that's remarkable. Here, work part-time, invest $11. $11 working part-time and get $89,000 in 30 days. Wow! How to get $16,000 on the internet to do your own environmental project. Yeah, it's not just business, it's saving the world too. Or $5,000 interest-free loan. See, it's not only money, you can get loans too, but no interest, right? To start a fashion business. Or stop wasting money in the mall, how to make stuff yourself. Or no matter what your age or background, get $45,000. That's right, I've seen teenagers that I've interviewed. $45,000 in 30 days. Or how to make big money with your second job. You have a current job. Now do this on the side. Get money and do something you really like to do. Or here's this fella. He hated his job. And he's going to work Monday. He hated it so much. And now he got free internet money and solved that problem. Okay, here's a young college student with no money at all. And she starts a non-profit to create jobs for the homeless. Can you imagine a college student going up to some foundation and asking him for, tens of thousands of dollars because they want to create jobs for homeless? You have no experience. You can't do that. She did. And now she's so good at this, that CNN had made her this big celebrity because she's doing wonderful work doing this. Well, here's a guy who dropped out of college to count the money that he made on the internet. He was making so much money while still in school, he had to drop out because he's making too much money. Or here's a company that got 40 distributors, that's right, on the internet for going after the free money. Got free money too, but he also got the distributors. Or how about this? $2,000 working part-time in your basement, writing jokes about your wife. Right. Now, where the heck are you going to get money to write jokes about your wife? This guy did it. He went on the internet. Right. Okay. Here's somebody this guy quit his job, and with $150, he got $350,000 on the internet. He hated his job, hated sitting in traffic. I think out in Los Angeles or whatever. Or here's a guy who wanted to hang around a ski resort, so he got $15,000 to start a business that enabled him to live near the ski resort. Well, how about this family here? This guy's funny as heck and his daughter's clever. They got $500,000, from the internet to do a little app that he was working on for help people with their family photos. Or how about this guy and this woman? They traveled the world. They got $16,000 to travel the world because they hated their jobs they were doing. See, that's something you can do what you really want to do in life, and that's what's I think it's such a waste of resources and talent and everything in our society when people aren't doing what they want to do, and so then they're not contributing more for the rest of us. And God, I think that it really helps our life. Each one of us, not only a person changes their life, but everybody else in their life, because you're so much happier. Here's create a high-tech product when you have no tech background and get $50,000 on the internet. So you could do things you can't even pronounce and just go out and get it. Yeah. Or here's a great website. You get a nice monthly check as an artist to work on your video, your music, your writing, your artwork, any kind of art. Our college kids show how to get $60,000. These are college kids. One actually doesn't live far from here, where I live. $60,000 for their idea. And here's a guy who wants to help with table scraps, in composting. $26,000. There's a lot of money in table scraps. Or this woman here who's trying to help people drink beer better. And it's a clever idea, and she got money on the internet for that. Or this young couple of guys just out of college are turning bananas into flour and got $30,000 on it. Actually, $35,000. Or how about this woman here? She started a nonprofit on the internet. Started with $350. That's it. Only $350. She's now collected $400,000. Man, how do we unlock more people with just $300 in their pocket to go out and get $400,000 to solve problems in the world? That's what's going on in our life. We got a lot of problems, and each one of us, if we just take a problem, and figure out how to get money to solve it, to help you solve it, and it's there now. Or here's another guy, doesn't need a lot of expertise to get $90,000 on the internet. Just a lot of desire. And that's what it's all about. It's not easy. I mean, you don't go, in 10 minutes and get, $400,000. No, you got to work, but it doesn't take investments. It doesn't take money. It doesn't take some fat cat. It doesn't take knowing some gatekeeper and all that kind of stuff. It just takes you. How about a stay-at-home mom delivers her baby while at the same time getting $25,000 on the internet for her business idea? Now that's cool. Or here's a woman that loves to cook. And what she did is got $11,000 to write a cookbook. She started a blog, right? And then got $11,000, and that cost, $100 or something to start a blog. And now, on the internet, got $11,000 to have a real cookbook. Man, see, that's how you can change your life now and do things you really want to do in life. And if you're not going to use the videos on my videos on YouTube, that's YouTube/Matthew Lesko 70. Here are the key words to keep looking out for if you're searching: is crowdfunding, peer-to-peer, and the shared economy. So that's what's going new in our life, and I think the more people learn about it, then you don't want to be the last person on the stage. It's sort of like being the last in line for a grant in the government. They ran out of money then, so something else will be different. In the beginning of the wave is when all the excitement happens, and when it's fun because nobody else is there, and you take advantage of it, and you start on the wave, and that's a fun part of life, being on the beginning, not on the end when it's trickling in the beach and there's no power left. So get out and use this stuff. Well, how do you check out somebody that you're dealing with on the internet? Well, if it's a business, you can go to the Better Business Bureau and see their complaints and things like that. Or if they're on Yelp, and that's for a business also. Or if they're selling something on eBay, how people give everybody ratings. So, that's sort of a neat way that everybody's rating everybody else. But what about the other people? That you're going to buy something, from not one of these big fancy sites, or you have to deal with somebody, and you're only known through the internet, or there's other ways in the shared economy. You're going to let somebody use your house or your car or something. So how do you find out what kind of person this is? Well, there's an answer, and it's short of doing, a Google search on somebody and coming up with millions of websites that you don't even know what the heck they are, whatever, or hiring a private eye. You go to something new now called trustcloud.com. And these guys have just started out. Well, they got thousands and thousands and thousands of people already. And actually, you can go in there yourself and sign up for free and see what you look like. What is your trust rating on the internet? Because it searches and it has all these things to find out how trustful you are, and it gives you a rating, and then you can work on that rating you want, or you just take it off. It's all for free. So it doesn't matter, and it may be interesting to see. But here is a good way that people are going to be able to verify how good they are for them to deal with you on the internet. And it's free to you. So what the heck? It's a great idea. So we don't have to have regulations and certificates and all this kind of stuff that's going to cost you money. It won't. And this is a way, to work on your standing in the internet. In a way, if there's bad stuff written on it, so you get a good rating here, and you don't have to worry about that one bad thing, that people are you've been trying to get off the internet for the last 10 years or whatever it is. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So look at this interview. This is the guy who started this company, and things like this are going to take off because this is what it's about. It's going to be more peer-to-peer. It's more people doing things for other people because we don't need a big, corporation to go through anymore to get things done. And so, but we have to know the trust of all these people. So it's services like this that are really going to take off. And it's good for you to be involved in them just to see what you look like, see what other people think you look like anyway. So take a look at this interview.
Well, Miles Spencer, man, I think you have probably one of the neatest websites for the new economy where people are sharing everything and not spending a lot of money buying stuff they don't need. And it's called trustcloud.com, where now if I'm sharing with somebody, you're going to figure out that these people are okay because they signed up to your website and it costs nothing to sign up, right?
Well, yes, indeed. It does cost nothing. Thank you, Matthew. Trustcloud.com actually looked for a way to help people in the sharing economy. And what we're talking about is the old classified ads, if you will, where people are borrowing cars and crashing on couches and babysitting and dog walking. And now, just before you do a transaction like that, you wonder, who is on the other side? And TrustCloud provides a score that gives an indication of someone's trustworthiness based on all of their online behavior.
Wow. So in other words, you go online and, with the person's name, able to find out where they've been, how long they've been, how trustworthy they look, whether it's LinkedIn, Google, all these sites online, and build up like a credit score, but it's really your trust score, right?
It is based on the 800 scale of credit. We thought that people would understand that. And it's entirely opt-in, Matthew. So if you don't want to trust cloud score, you don't have to have one. And if you don't want to have your Facebook or your LinkedIn or your Stack Overflow or your Yelp or your TripAdvisor as part of your score, you don't have to have that. Having said that, our product visionary, Shin Chung, my co-founder, it comes from the games industry, Xbox and Microsoft, and he put together this score based on something that people would want to compete to maximize their score. And the best way to maximize your score after signing up is to bring in as many networks as possible so that we can pull that data and allow that to create your score. So nothing is done without your consent. Having said that, the best way to get a good score is to be transparent and be a good guy.
So in other words, if I'm going to, through one of these shared economy websites, say, rent an apartment somewhere in Tampa for the winter, that if I'm on this site, then they have a way to see who I am, how good I am, and I have a way to see how good they are, right? It works two ways.
Exactly. Yeah. So one of our partners, tripping.com, actually does travel. It's rideshare and also apartments. And they are a network that uses TrustCloud to inform both the owner of the apartment and the prospective renter of the apartment exactly what the background of the person is on the other side of the transaction. Now, 99 times out of 100, there's nothing to worry about. But that one time can really create significant damage to an asset. And God forbid, it can also create significant damage to a person if it's babysitting, tutoring, dog walking, etc. So that's why we felt creating a trust score.
So this is, if I'm a freelance whatever at home, it would behoove me to join TrustCloud because number one, it's free, and it goes and gives me a trust rating. And if I don't like it, I can just take it off your site, right? But then I could advertise it to potential clients. Hey, I'm a good guy. You don't have to go search the internet for how good or bad I may be. Here, TrustCloud has done all that, and here's my rating. Take a look.
two of the most popular places to place a Trust Cloud card is on a blog, where you're writing about yourself, you're writing about your domain expertise, or in the signature file of your email. So, you know, we get in excess of 1 million API hits per week from people that are actually just displaying this on their blogs and in their signature file. Hey, look, if you want to know everything about me, start here, and you can drill down on all of the different networks within my Trust Cloud.
So even if I'm not marketing something, so I could see it'd be great if I'm marketing or trying to prove to somebody else if I want to borrow their lawnmower or something like that. But it also seems that just me, I'm worried about what people say about me on the internet. I don't even know. You know, and we have these other websites charge a lot of money to protect your reputation online. And your service, I just go online, put my name, and you find out how good I am or not, and I make my judgment call after that, and it costs me nothing.
Well, yes, it does cost you nothing as a consumer, right? We make our money through the networks that actually use the sharing economy to provide rides and dog walking and babysitting, et cetera. So those are our customers. Individual consumers get it for free. Yes, there are great sites out there that manage your reputation, that manage your influence, that manage your identity itself. But what Trust Cloud's point of view was, just like that FICO-based 800 score, there should be one place that you can pull in all your data, and you can use it in each individual sharing economy transaction. So, you know, if you rented an apartment last week in Tampa, and you were a bad boy, messed the place up. If you then went to Chicago and went to borrow a car, the second site would not know about your behavior from the first site, right? So portable trust is a very important concept to us, and each one of these individual networks can never create the data that's needed to have a full look of how you're behaving across the entire community, and that's what Trust Cloud is for.
But it also seems like something, if I'm going to deal with somebody, I mean, it seems like, hey, you know, I don't want to spend half a day on the internet looking about you. You know, do you have a trust card thing? And if they say no, you say, hey, it's free, and then you just ask them about that, and then it behooves them to join Trust Cloud just to give it to you because they want to do business with you.
Oh, exactly. Here's mine. Where's yours?
Exactly. Right.
That's exactly that type of dynamic where if one side of the transaction has one, naturally they would be inclined to ask the other side, you know, about it. And you bring up something very good. There's nothing in Trust Cloud that one couldn't find oneself by slavishly searching through the internet. And if that's how one wants to spend one's time, great. But these devices are powering our world. And we only have snatches of time to make a decision about a babysitter, lending a car, crashing at someone's house, hiring a tutor. And as our thumb is hovering over that select now button, how much do you really know about the other side of the transaction? Well, with Trust Cloud, you get it all in a bundle and a score. If you want to drill down from there, you can drill down from there. But the reality is, people want to see what the score is.
And this, I would think, is becoming much more important because of our society. I mean, now, man, I deal with people overseas as much as I do here, and I never even meet them. It's not like going to the diner every day and dealing with Joe, who I've known my whole life.
The diner has become an international smorgasbord, and that is the internet, and the internet has been on steroids since the advent of the iPhone and the tablet. And so again, we're making decisions with our thumbs, and we only have snatches of time before the train gets here, before I get my cup of coffee, at the stoplight, which is something that I actually particularly don't like, people that pick up their phones at the stoplight during transactions. The reality is, very small snatches of time, very small devices. You need a compressed summary of what the other side of the transaction looks like.
And you got it there, trustcloud.com, and that's really for anybody who's really wants to know what they look like, how good they look like on the web, and it costs you nothing. And really, for people who want to get more interested now in this shared economy, you don't have to pay full price for stuff you're going to use just one day a year or something like that. And the shared economy has really solved a lot of that problems, and it's going to grow, and Trust Cloud's going to grow with it or ahead of it or whatever. Well, thank you so much. It's great talking with you.
Okay, thank you, Matthew. Thanks for having me on. Really a big fan.
TrustCloud.com, right? It's easy to remember. Take care.
Okay, now here's a guy who's going to show you how he got $26,000 for showing people how to have fun in the bathtub. Actually, and he did it while he was a temporary accountant. So you can imagine an accountant showing you how to have fun in the bathtub, and it's not doing a spreadsheet at all. You got to watch this guy, because actually what's neat about it, besides being able to give up his accounting job when this thing took off, and he got all this money from it on the internet, is that he then had it made locally, from people who had 3D printers. See, he used a service on the internet, found people with 3D printers, and they'd make his inventory for him. So that's why you can manufacture right from your kitchen table. He had his own 3D printer and everything, and make it like that. And these printers are nothing anymore. And even if you don't have one, everybody else will make them for you. They have them because they want to write off their 3D printer. Yep. And now he's doing so well that he's raised venture capital money to now do mass production, because not just running him out of a 3D printer, he wants to bet millions because the demand is so high. Who would ever thought that so many people want to have fun in the bathtub? Now watch how he figured this out.
Well, Michael, is it Aylesworth? Is that
Aylesworth, yes.
Aylesworth. But more important, you're the father of the wave hooks, aren't you? Daddy wave. So that little contraption you have there on the board is really for your shower or bathroom, right?
Absolutely. It's a wine glass holder for the bathtub, and it's gone crazy. Wavehooks.com.
Well, actually, Vice TV is in my house, and they wanted to talk to somebody. I said, "You're the perfect person, to be on Vice TV," because you know what they did yesterday? They interviewed me, and they want to know about my sex life. And I said, well,
Oh my goodness.
yeah. So to me, you're the guy who has parties in his bathtub and his shower. So you're an ideal person. But Michael, what's neat about you though is that you were doing something in life you really weren't too happy with, were you? Huh?
Right. I was a temporary accountant. I had studied to be an engineer. My career, I graduated at the height of the recession. I think a lot of people got stuck in the trap that I did, that you didn't get your career started immediately. So now I'm using my skills as an engineer to design really cool new products, and I get to sell them on the internet, and it's wonderful. Wavehooks.com.
And so did you finally give up your accounting job or not?
Oh yeah. This is my full-time job. I'm designing new products.
But you were doing both for a while, right? While you figured this out. You were doing both, the accounting and this for a while.
I was. That was really awkward. So yeah, I took a temporary gig. Somebody was going on vacation, and I had to run the payroll. So I part-time there, and I did the rest of the time here at the office. And Wavehooks is now my full-time job.
Wonderful. But you raised money like over $26,000 on the internet doing this stuff.
Yes. So our initial crowdfunding campaigns were hugely successful. We got $26,000 worth of backers. We're expanding the line. Right now, they're 3D printed. You can get them right now today at hooks.com. Or we have another Indiegogo campaign going on where you can back us and wait till August to get our mass-produced injection molded version.
Wow. So you started making them by 3D printers. Yourself and other people were helping you print these things. So when you get an order, you can send them out right away almost, right?
Exactly. So right now, the 3D printed version is what's available on our website. We're printing them I have a bunch of 3D printers. They're running 24 hours a day. We're meeting the demand today rather than waiting for the tooling in August. So
you're raising money now though to do that tooling too, because it's expensive to make that first one when you.
It's very expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It is. It's several. It's almost $10,000 just for the tool. For the injection molded version. So and then you have to order thousands of them, and that's
you got to make more than one.
Exactly. So we've done that, and as we go now, we can monetize the company by selling the 3D printed product immediately, which is a huge gift item. People are they've got birthdays before August, they need it right now. I'll meet you demand, no problem whatsoever. You can buy them today, and then come August. If you want to wait, you can back our Indiegogo campaign. But come August, we're going to have our 3D printed or our injection molded version available to the masses, and that's going to be a huge rollout. We're really
even
excited.
now on the 3D printer, I mean, they're cheap as dirt almost. I mean, what are they, $15 or something like that?
Yeah. So each unit is you can get it in your hands with shipping for $15, $14.99. I
mean, that's a great gift,
Yeah. It's a great price point, and we've got a lot of really positive support from not just the crowdfunding, but just in general. Our customer base is
now I see it all over the internet.
It's all over the world. It's all over the internet, all over the world. I'm shipping them, pretty much anywhere that you can have a post office box. It's great.
but you have it for beer drinkers too, or to fill your wine bottle and everything.
Yeah. So all right. So here we go. So I have a new one now. This one you can't get on the website, but this one we're gonna do this as an injection molded one. It'll probably be closer to the winter time, but
I see. Okay.
There's
coming soon.
So here's the shelf beer bottle, right? So hold the bottle just fine. Yeah. The other fun part about that is this is really an expansion of the wine glass holder because I've got a wine bottle.
I see.
Holds that too.
Well, wonderful. So, what do you think of life now that you're not in a?
Oh, life's great. Oh yeah, it's what's so fun about this. It's a great product. It's a fun experience. Yay! I get to do something I love. But here's the thing that really is the big lesson that I've learned. Women, specifically women, have an amazing power now through social media to shape new products that are coming out. Right. So women's the behavior I see that women have on Facebook, they're tagging their friends. It's a fun, exciting community experience. No longer is it some executive guessing, oh well, this product is going to be successful. No, the market tells us what they want, and we get to see how they're using the product. So now, instead of having a top-down model as we have for hundreds of years, now it's the market telling us, saying, hey, we really want to be able not to drink in the tub, but to have a moment to ourselves in the tub, a moment of luxury where I can just sit back, close out the rest of the world, and this is my time, and I as a business owner get to make the product that makes that possible. It's so exciting.
So, I mean, I'm sure, you're not out of school long, but it seems that even probably when you're in school, they were saying, well, if you have an idea, you have to go to a big company and get the money and all this kind of stuff. And the world has changed since you got graduated, right?
The world is changing every day. It used to be, you got to have a patent before you even consider letting it out the door. No. First, we have to see if the product has legs, and something as simple as buying a Facebook ad for $20. You go out, see if people are tagging each other, see if people are responding to the ad. The wine glass holder, it's amazing the data that I can see how people are really getting excited about it and having fun with the product. It's not just me pushing some plastic thing that maybe people will use it, maybe they won't. No, it's a community experience, and it's so exciting that I get to be able to participate in it. It's a whole new world. I'm really excited about it. Wayfolks.com.
Absolutely. Well, you're gonna take over for me, I think, in infomercials, man. You're a natural.
Man, nobody can take over for you. I mean, you're the king, man. Come on.
But Wayfolks, now you're right. I mean, now someone could really feel safer relaxing with a glass of wine in the tub, right?
Absolutely, and it's not even a matter of safety. It's a matter of making it convenient, making it a very natural experience. You can put this, it's suction cups, right? You can put it wherever you want, and you can move it. It's something that's strong, it's durable, it's custom to your experience.
Well, to me, I would have a dozen of those in my little kitchen, because that's a place to hold your wine glasses.
Yes, absolutely. You can deploy these anywhere. I've gone to parties where people have windows, right, and no place to put their guests to put their wine glasses.
Oh, I see.
The window, and so you have a dinner party, you have 30 people over, and there's no place to put the drink.
Yeah, if you stick those up all over the house during a party, then people can eat and have their wine there.
That's right.
Well, you're saving the world, man. You're saving the world. We need you in the State Department.
Well, let's start in the bathtub. That's really where all the magic happens. So.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Michael. You're a delight, and it's so fun to see how excited you can get by just getting free money on the internet and figuring this out.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Matt. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Have a good day. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Now, if you ever thought of selling something on the internet, watch this next interview. Because this is a young woman, I mean, I think she's creative as hell. Because she figured out more than the traditional way of selling something. I mean, what's neat nowadays is that instead of opening up a store to sell something, to people, that costs you hundreds of thousands of dollars, you go on the internet and open a website for $100 and sell something. But it's customers that it's all about, And what's neat about it is that she took her passion in life, which was really creating food. And so she's, has a service and has products to help other people create food. And it's really, she calls it urban farming, and it's her website is called Farm Curious. How you make cheese, And so what she does, besides selling the techniques and tools to help you make these kinds of products or food products, she also gives lessons. Now, the lessons she gives, I mean, to me, this is genius. She goes to organizations that have these training, they want to have group sessions to get bonding periods, and they used to go out in the woods or try to do hula hoops or have people come in and try to inspire them. No, what she does is go to these big corporations and get people bonding together by making cheese together. Wow. What a great, so she's making more money, I think, it sounds like, on her classes than she is on selling her products on the web. See, that's the creativity we all need, really, in surviving, because there's always more than one way to take what you have and find another angle to make extra money at it. If one thing doesn't work, then you have to do something else. And that's why the only way you get there is passion for what you want to do. Listen to her, because she talks about how the only reason she's successful is because she has passion. She really wants to do this stuff. So when one thing fails, man, she'll find another way to make it happen somewhere else. Something she never thought of from the beginning. That's why failure is so important. You got to go out there and give it your best shot on what you think. And when it doesn't, then that will lead you to think to something even better that you should have thought beforehand, but you didn't have the knowledge to until you failed. That's why failing is so important. So watch this video.
Well, Nicole Easterly, man, with Farm Curious. Man. So you're a city girl that's curious about the farm, and you had this lousy job you hated because you have a child now, and now you found a way to make money at home.
That's right.
With something you love doing, and you gave up your high heels and those fancy dresses, and now you're in jeans at home making a living, and you just got $32,000 off the internet.
Woo!
So how do you do this, or where'd it come from, or what's going on there?
I think that if you have passion about something and you love something you do, it shows, and people want to support you.
So that's it. You just go show your love and it comes back. Huh?
Exactly. People can see when you're excited about something, and it makes them excited too.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. And you can only get excited about something that you really enjoy doing, right? If it was like getting business for some ambulance chasing law firm. That's a little hard to get.
Well, in fairness, I loved that job. I had it for 7 years. I loved it for a long time. And that's why I was good there. I was passionate about it then. Yeah, you have to
But
love
now
what
you have a
do.
lifestyle change because you're at home.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and you have a 2-year-old, delightful child. You started this business with just like a tax refund money? Is that how it started?
That's right. I was looking for funding to buy my first batch of inventory for a festival, and I got our tax refund, and I thought, well, that was just, a gift from myself. And that's what I spent it on. I spent the whole thing, and, years later, I've paid myself back for it. So
Wonderful. But okay, now tell us what you do, because I'm not even sure.
Sure. So I started Farm Curious because I wanted a place where people who did urban homesteading type things like canning or pickling or fermenting or cheese making could find all of their resources in one place. And there are a couple of businesses that do this now, but there weren't when I came up with the idea. And
so you're
what I
industry leader
do,
already, huh?
right. So what I do is I teach classes for people to learn how to make cheese or to learn how to ferment something. And then I sell kits to help them get started. So when they go home, they're not scared. They have something to put their hands on.
So you have like when as a kid, I used to go to the toy store and buy these model plane building kits. Now I have a model fermenting building kit, right?
Exactly. People love kits because it makes them feel like they don't have to think a lot more about what's inside that kit.
Well, did you grow up on a farm or something? You like doing this urban farming stuff?
I grew up in Kansas, but not on a farm. My mom always gardened. My grandma always canned. But when you're a kid, you don't pay that much attention to it. You just don't. I moved to New York. I became a city person. I was everything my mom dreaded I might grow up to be. And but then I moved to San Francisco and started paying attention to the food movement, and it fascinated me. And so I wanted to be a part of it.
So this is a recent discovery then?
Yeah, it's been about 6 years for me. Yeah.
And so you learned how to make cheese and ferment, and now you have a nice business that helps other people do that, right?
That's right. And my target isn't people who have been fermenting for 20 years. It's people like you, honestly, who might have an interest. Maybe you read in the New York Times that fermented food is good for your body, and you're curious about it, maybe farm curious. And so you want an easy way to do it that doesn't involve yucky mold on the top of your food, and that's what my fermenting kit is meant for.
Wonderful. So now you like display at festivals that are going on all over. I just heard I used to go to Burning Man, but they don't have stuff like this, but the other festivals do. And I mean, festivals could have like 30, 40,000 people at these things, right?
That's right. Yeah, we were just at Maker Faire in San Mateo last weekend, and we get a ton of traffic. I mean, the first year we did it, we sold out of everything we brought.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
I got to be there selling subscriptions to my stuff. Yeah.
You could. Hundreds of thousands of people who are interested in learning. I mean, they're the perfect audience.
Yeah. Well, that's why they're not watching, the network news for this stuff. They have to go to festivals and things like this to learn. And then also what's interesting about what you do is that you learned another market to take what you're doing and sell it to the corporate community, which just sounds nuts to me, but it's fascinating.
It's true. Well, especially the cheese making. Everyone loves cheese. It's hard to find someone who doesn't love cheese. And when you put it with wine, it's suddenly very fancy. So what I taught a team building class for Airbnb, and they wanted something that embodied their own company morals. And so they got a home business person, someone who started up their own business, because that's what all of their clients do. And they invited me to teach them to make cheese. And it was a very creative, fun process.
Wow. So this is a team building event. So everybody gets dirty and in the yeast or whatever the heck you need to.
Exactly. Yeah. So I teach seminars as well where I stand on a stage and talk. But the most fun that I have is when people get their hands in it. You know, they're actually making cheese themselves. And that's exciting.
So it's like kindergarten again, having
It
fun
is
at
like
school,
kindergarten.
learning something.
It's funny you say that. At the end of my goat cheese class, I say, now just pretend it's Play-Doh. You can do anything with it.
Oh, that's wonderful. And so on Kickstarter, I mean, we could get your kit now on Kickstarter because it's probably a deal on Kickstarter while it's still there.
It
Right?
is, yeah, free shipping, which is a great deal. Yeah.
And so if you go to farmcurious.com and you have a button there, right, to go to Kickstarter or to
We
find
do.
out those seminars. But you're a portal. What I like about your portal, though, is that you're teaching. You got a lot of educational material for anybody. If you don't want to buy any stuff, you know, just learn
Right.
about how to live better, you know, in an urban environment, but you know, with the old school stuff that really makes sense, especially now with all this processed food that tastes like hell and is killing us and everything.
Yeah. And you know, I think that people think that DIY food has to be complicated, and it doesn't. So what we're doing with the fermenting set specifically is you take any wide mouth mason jar, you add the vegetables, you pour salt water, and then you put our top on it, and you leave it alone for 3 weeks.
That's my kind of cooking. It's like
You're
crock
mine
pot
too.
cooking, right?
Set it and forget it, right?
Right. Well,
So
you're wonderful, Nicole. Thank you for being there, and I'm so happy to see the joy in you, that you're home with your
so
child
much.
and contributing to society with something you believe in and that other people could take advantage of. Yeah.
I'm a very fortunate person. I try to remind myself that every day.
Well, the rest of us are fortunate to have you there. So thank you for being there.
Thanks for
Okay.
having me.
Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Now here are two young guys that, man, it's amazing, you know, what's available now to our society. It even surprised them, you know, and these are young people who should know about the new things. I mean, that's why it's hard to get a vision on what is available out there to anybody to do things. Now these 23-year-olds, you know, I don't know what their job prospects were, but man, in just like 2 weeks or so, they got $75,000 on the internet for their idea. And their idea that they've been tinkering with, you know, actually in college, was how to make things better at home. You know, how to make your own stuff. You know, and have like a little factory and things like that. You know, people have 3D printers, but it's not that. It's a router. You know, and everything's so expensive. So they wanted to come out with something very inexpensive for the home person to use to make stuff out of wood or whatever stuff they want to make at it. You know, and it's just wonderful. And this thing just took off like a rocket. So here's 23, you know, two 23-year-olds who probably got all their student loans almost paid for, you know, just in like a month on the internet. Yeah, I mean, that's exciting stuff to me. I mean, I don't know about you. When I went to college, boy, you had to get a normal job or have lots of money to start a business, and it just would never work. Now, look at two people, you know, that just had no money in their pocket and went on the internet and got $70,000 to start their business. You know, and that's before they even had a product. All they have is a prototype. You know, so you tinker around, making a prototype, make it looks like, no matter how long it takes you to do it, who cares? If there's $70,000 at the end of that rainbow, and even if it doesn't come out to $70,000. You learn by using that tool today, you know, because this is what's available to every one of us in our society to make things happen for ourselves, is using that internet tool and learning how about the opportunities that are in there. They're not going to come, you know, like government programs, they're not going to come to you and bang you on the head to do it. You know, you got to find it. You know, and you got to work at it to do it. You know, that's what all this stuff takes, is energy. You know, it doesn't take a lot of money anymore. It doesn't take a lot of, you know, who do you know and what kind of buddies you have or whatever. No, it's a system that's open to the world. It's open to you. It's open to me. It's open to anybody who figures it out. And it doesn't take a mental genius to do this anymore. If I'm using it, anybody can use it. You know, and that's why I start learning this system. Take a look at this interview.
Well, Thomas Beckett and Bar Smith, right? And you got the Make Smith CNC, and I don't know, geeks probably know what that means. I had to figure it out. And what you guys have is a router, stuff that, carves out wood and all that kind of stuff. For $200, anybody can have this electronic router on their desktop and make stuff at home for an incredible price. I mean, you were telling me earlier that normally people were selling these things for like $4,000 or $5,000, and you're down to $200. So anybody can start their own business if they have one of these things, or play around and learn the technology of the future because you brought it to us now. So how did kids just out of college figure this out?
Basically, it was just a hobby, and I sort of kept wondering if it was possible and kept experimenting with it, and sort of every step would just work, and then I'd be like, well, I wonder if the next step's possible, and it just kept working out. And I mean, there were definitely hiccups, and problems that had to be solved, but yeah, it just kind of came together.
Something a rounder. I mean, that's one of those things that carves out wood and all that kind of thing. You can make a bunny rabbit out of a piece of wood or whatever it is, or a model airplane, as you guys were showing, or put your name on stuff. But now this, instead of having one of those big things down in your workbench, this would be right on your desktop. You hook it up to your computer, right? And you got the software that makes that sucker run, so you can make 100 of the same things, right? With just a flick of the switch once you figured it out the first time. The first time takes a little work. Then the 15th one, man, you're in business.
Yeah. If you're making multiple of the same thing, it's great because you can just make 100 of something that are exactly the same.
Right.
And like you said, the first one, you got to set it up, and then after that, you just press the button again. And
press that button. So you're going to make all our homes like little Chinese factories, right? We could make a... But really, to me, what's neat about it, I mean, China, they're good if you want 1 million of something, but we want a dozen or 2 dozen, a couple hundred or something. That's why, a product like yours at this price is just phenomenal to the average person. Or to learn how to use it. That's another thing. I mean, 3D printers, stuff like that, you're a fraction of the cost of a 3D printer, right? And it's basically the same kind of thing, but as a router.
Yeah, that was our whole goal, was to make this technology accessible to more people. And we felt like the price was a big thing that was preventing a lot of people from getting their hands on one and playing with it. It prevented me from having one.
Yeah. So you wanted one of these as a kid, and you didn't have the $600 or $1,000, whatever it costs to do it. And then you thought everybody would know how to do this, and you said it wasn't there, and you just made it yourselves, you guys, huh? So now, was the fear of having a real job your real motivation, or?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. But Bart, you just graduated this month, right?
Yeah, I'm actually graduating the end of this month. I have.
The end of the month. Wonderful. You going to go to graduation, or you have to fill these orders now instead?
I'll be at graduation. We're gonna take a day off.
And Thomas, you graduated a year ago, right?
Yeah, a year ago in 2 weeks.
Right. And you were waiting for Bar to get out of the cage he was in there at school, huh? So
I've been waiting.
Yeah. But it's amazing. But you guys went on crowdfunding on Kickstarter, and a few weeks ago you started hoping to get 10,000, and you're already up to $60,000. Man, that's going to pay off all your student loans, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe a tiny little chunk of it.
Yeah, right. I understand. But more importantly, I mean, you're making a contribution already, and barely out of school, which is remarkable to me. And I don't think it would happen without things like crowdfunding or without things like, you playing around and figuring out that there was, 3D printers already doing something similar. So all this new economy made this possible, it seems, for you guys.
Yeah, we're completely blown away with how Kickstarter kind of enables people with just kind of an idea or a dream to actually hop into it. I mean, we're 23 years old and we're right out of school, and we were able to just jump right into something that we were pretty passionate about. And it's just really exciting that you can actually do that now.
I mean, you didn't have to beg, borrow, steal, 60 grand for your parents. They probably wouldn't give it to you. That's a crazy idea, right?
Right.
Because they probably would never understand it anyway, right? What you're doing.
Yeah.
And so the internet gave you this opportunity to start a business, give you real money and everything, just not even out of school yet for one of you guys.
And it's been absolutely incredible just the way the internet has let us talk to people from around the world. Like we told them to people in 40 countries. We have
40 countries!
Yeah,
40 countries have this thing now, right?
And that's just absolutely incredible. Like, it's such a cool feeling to see someone like get an email and be like, hey, how much is shipping to like Lebanon? And it's like, Lebanon! Like, how cool is that?
Well, what do your friends think about it who are still, working normal jobs just out of school or something like that?
I mean, they're really excited for us and kind of surprised. They're surprised and not surprised.
I see.
Yeah.
Because they knew you had it in you, but it's surprised it really works. You can go out and do something yourself.
Exactly how it is.
Holy shit! Why didn't I do that?
And they can. That's the really great thing.
Yeah, no, that's what's so neat, I think, about our society nowadays, that it gives an opportunity like that, so you don't have to rely on any of the traditional sources. I mean, get a job, pay off your student loans, get a mortgage. Man, here, look at, I mean, who would have thought you could raise 60 grand in, 2 months or a month and a half or whatever it is you're on there? I mean, that's just phenomenal to me, yeah. And you don't even have your degrees yet, yeah? How about your professors?
Mine, I emailed a bunch of my professors, kind of letting them know, like, hey, I really enjoyed some of your business and technology classes, and this is what I'm up to. Let me know what you think. And they were just so excited to see it just applied so quickly right out of school.
Wow. Well, that ne'er-do-well Thomas is finally doing something. I never thought he'd amount to anything. Oh, that's terrific. And so now you have other ideas in your mind, too, because it takes you, now the campaign's over in about a week or so, or two, and then once that's over, you got to concentrate on filling all those orders, which is a nice problem to have, isn't it? Yeah.
It's a great problem to have. We can't wait until we start seeing the cool things that people make with them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so excited to just see someone make something awesome and be like,
that's going to inspire you to add something new that you never even thought of that would make that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So your customers now are going to make you smarter, for the upgrades and the new version and all that. And, you got a career out of this thing, I'm sure. And it's a delight to talk to you guys. And I'm so glad you're there and showing the rest of us how cool our society really is. And that, you can do the American dream. It's just in different language now.
And one of the things we're most excited about is because it works with digital files, if one of our customers designs something and another one likes it, they can just email them the files and they can print it out there.
I see. Wonderful. So you could share this. I mean, that's the sharing economy is out there now too. So all your customers could share what they designed and they send it to everybody else and they can make it at home. Because
everybody wins with this. That's really exciting.
And it's easy to use. You plug it in, you learn the software, put it together, and then you're making stuff right at home. That's terrific. Well, thank you so much, guys. And people go to makesmithcnc.com, MAKESMITH, CNC.com. Look at that. Look at the video. You guys on the video. Terrific video. It shows you exactly, what this thing is capable of, and that's wonderful to see. Even if you don't want to buy them, but for $200, man, you're into the future. It's like being a Jetson or something like that. For such a price, and everybody was selling them for thousands and thousands of dollars. Well, that's Yankee ingenuity, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.